psychologist by profession. Qualification-wise, I have a double master's in clinical and counseling psychology. I also have a lot of certifications in various forms of therapy. Um, in 2017, the November of 2017, I came across Reboot Wellness. They were establishing and opening doors to create an ecosystem that supported awareness, that lended support and provided intervention. And I became a part of it. And over a period of time, started to, I became one of the partners within the organization. We in 2018. Uh, at Reboot, we work towards changing the prejudices and narratives around mental health and make it more inclusive. This has personally been one of my biggest driving forces in my working life and personal life, because for me, my work is not just work, it is what I believe in, it's my life philosophy as well. It stems from the ethos of positivity, compassion, and connection, which I think every human being needs to survive in this world. Our idea was to create a space where we can allow people to be themselves, to share what they're going through, and also provide the best kind of support that we can. At Reboot Wellness, we have a team of psychologists, psychiatrists, researchers, trainers, educators, anybody who's related to the world of psychology, who basically aim to understand the relevance of these meaningful services. We are a hybrid ecosystem that is that we are available both online and offline. And over the last, thanks to the pandemic, and over the last 3 years, our organization has clients from 10 different countries. It gives me a lot of pleasure to say this, because I think as a psychologist, and on behalf of my other colleagues, we believe that cultural differences and barriers often restrict us to expressing ourselves and sharing our thoughts. So being able to provide mental health support for individuals, Indians living in various countries, is of great relevance to us. Over a period of years, we have established credibility in the areas of therapy and counseling. We also are deeply involved in training and coaching and assessment and behavioral analysis. I'm going to now talk about a little bit about the services that we offer. But before that, I want you to understand, why do we offer these services? We offer these services because it is believed by the WHO that 1 in every 8 individuals worldwide suffers from a mental disorder. In recent reports that have been published, and all thanks to the pandemic, 35%, there has been a 35% of mental health disorders in India. I believe that the increase is far more. It's just that 35% has, people have come forward and spoken about what they're going through. 19.73 crore Indians, or one in every 7 Indians, suffers from a variety of mental health problems. The WHO says that about 20% of Indians by the end of 2022, which basically means a huge amount of population, because we are many in number, will suffer from depression, which also includes 5.6 crore Indians may have depression, and 3.8 may have any form of anxiety disorders. It is also believed that and projected that India will lose up to $1.03 trillion in economic value owing to mental health concerns. And because of the poor number of mental health professionals that we have in our country, it will take us up to 42 years to satisfy the requirements of the mental health professionals within our country. And most importantly, the biggest roadblock that we face as a country is the lack of awareness and stigma. With these numbers, it has become even more relevant for us to extend our services and create a variety of services that we extend in order to fulfill these demands and requirements. The core service at Reboot is, of course, therapy and counseling. We have a team of psychologists, psychiatrists, as well as peer recovery coaches, because we focus a lot on de-addiction, who deal with different issues. All of our psychologists and psychiatrists specialize in certain areas, ranging from anxiety, depression, sleep problems, relationship problems, parent-child concerns, addiction, substance abuse, and other mental health disorders and concerns. Our team is multidisciplinary and we work with a lot of empathy and awareness. We also work collectively together and contribute to, building healthier services. A lot of people also ask us, why do mental health issues occur? And I just want to take a few minutes to, help all of you understand this, that mental health issues are a result of either genetics, which is biological, so which also includes neurological problems, which are beyond our control. However, there are a lot of other things that are in our control that can be worked on in order to reduce the mental health concerns in our country and around the world. Most important, one of the biggest causes for mental health issues is trauma and neglect. Trauma and neglect experienced as a child. And when I say trauma, I don't necessarily mean I mean, we all are aware of abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and all of those things. But trauma also stems from unhealthy parenting practices, a lack of love and affection, not being able to, not being able to have healthy relationships within the family. So that is trauma as well. The other big reason for mental health issues, especially in men, is social pressure. The need to be financially independent, the need to be, the providers of their homes, creates a lot of social pressure, which leads to a lot of mental health issues, especially in men. Not only in men, but more so in men. The other reason is lack of social support, and of course, unhealthy environment. Sorry. When I say that we have mental health issues, I don't mean that everybody will have a great form of depression or anxiety or any kind of a clinical disorder. What it basically means is that as human beings, we are always functioning on this continuum, which ranges from being in crisis to excelling in life. And if you can imagine a bell curve, an inverted bell curve, the percentage of people who are in the extreme two corners, which is in crisis and excelling, are few. And while most of us are moving between struggling, surviving, and thriving. And just some basic changes in our choices, basic changes in our life, the kind of support that we experience, etc., can help us to move towards the green light from the yellow, orange, or the red lights. I want to do a little bit of an activity to help all of you understand I mean, from whatever I know from all of you, I don't think any one of us may be suffering from a clinical disorder. However, we all go through life with a lot of ups and downs. We experience a lot of chaos every now and then. And there are some basic things that we can do in order to ensure that we reduce our vulnerability to emotional and mental concerns. So if you all have a paper in front of you, I would want you to take a couple of seconds or a minute to think about everything that is imperative for you in your life, everything that is valuable for you in your life. I mean, of course, we have our common things, the top three, four things like family, friends, work, health, right? But think beyond that. Think beyond these four, five pointers. Think, what do you enjoy in life? What do you value in life? What do you think you want to experience in life? Think of all the things that make you feel happy. Think of all the things that make you want to get up. Think of all the things that get you excited about, about life. Done? Would anybody like to share?
I can ask.
Yes, please, Hannah.
Okay. So, apart from family and whatever you had told us, health, everyone gives priority to these things. But if I count two more, independence and freedom is very important. Like freedom of
Sorry,
doing
sorry, I didn't get the what.
independence and freedom,
Okay.
freedom of doing things my way, and that is like really important. And the some kind of creative outlet, which I always look for, some kind of platform where I can show my creativity, because I'm basically a very creative person. So um, if the outlet is not there, I really feel I don't feel motivated. So the creative outlet is very important, and a platform where I can speak freely, because for a free speech for me is like a very important factor. And again, something which I'm like very which is very close to my heart is animal rights and human rights. So these two things, I can like fight for them, for the animal rights and even for the human rights, the people who cannot speak for themselves. So these are things which really give me happiness.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Anu. Those are passionate causes. Would anybody else like to share?
Yes, Asta, I can be very honest. I can lap it up with a few good words, but I'd like to be honest.
Please, sir.
Okay, my first point is I'd like to be influential in helping people. What happens is you get a new high. You feel useful. You feel worthy if
Hmm.
you can help somebody without specifically targeting something in return. It leaves me with a high. I'm being honest with you. And second thing that really works for me in the morning, which delayed my arrival here by 10 minutes, was I was having difficulty talking to my grandson. Many of you don't have grandchildren, so bear with me. That 1 minute of honest, that one flash of a smile that he gives me in the morning is a selfless and honest one, and it revitalizes me. I was having difficulty in making connection with him this morning, and he goes off to school. Can you imagine at 2? But anyway, that was the reason for being late today. My apologies. But those are my two honest reasons.
Thank you so much for that honesty, Sanjeev sir. Kanchan too has written being able to positively impact the life of people around me, being able to have varied experiences, values, and structure. Absolutely. So all of these things, I consider these things as our values, right? Things that are valuable for us, things that are important and imperative for us to survive in our life. And it is very important for us to go back and put these things in perspective for our own selves every now and then. Remind ourselves that life is above and beyond. One of the most important ingredients to avoiding mental health concerns or to avoiding mental health decline is to be engaged in life. There are multiple other things, but the engagement in my own life will help me sail through the difficulties that life has to offer, because then I'm consciously adding value, mindfully adding value to to what I want and to what I do. So this activity was basically to help all of you and my own self understand that we need to keep things in our perspective. After we put things into our perspective, we also need to put them into existence. Ensure that we engage with things that we value, and then assign value and cost to the things that we do. There is a cost that is always assigned to the stuff that we do, and we get to choose that cost. We get to choose what and how we want. It is a very simple thing. However, we miss it while we are, living and sailing through life. So one of the most important things that I want to and I share with people, which is why I keep talking about travel and uh, you know experiencing life and doing things, because I just feel that it makes life more meaningful and also engaged. Uh, when we're going through life. So that this is one part of the work that we do, which is counseling and therapy. The other is training and engagement. As a practitioner, I've always been, I've a practice being a practitioner in India meant a lot of, a lot of stigma. It meant a lot of poor services, not enough kind of resources available to learn forms of therapy. I was lucky enough to go abroad and study. However, not everybody has that luxury. So one coming from that space of passion and taking this word of mental health forward, we as an organization also engage in a lot of training programs. We train mental health professionals We also train students who want to be mental health professionals, and we give them practical and skill-based training to help them become better and refine their skills as therapists. We also are now starting with programs for mental health enthusiasts. I know that a lot of people are very, very passionate about the mind and how the mind works, and they want to understand. In fact, we have Kanchan here who's done a master's in psychology already, which is very encouraging. So we are also launching a program for them to train them and help them, because it just allows us to be more compassionate and expressive with people around us, that knowledge, right? And also helps us to identify what concerns might be there. The third category of work that we do is research, consultation, and community intervention. We focus a lot on behavioral analysis and intervention in communities. The positive part is that a lot of government and quasi-government organizations are now becoming open to understanding behavior and building programs that contribute to the betterment of the society. For that purpose, we use a lot of tools that helps us to collect data, analyze this data, and create community intervention plans. That's a third category of things that we do. And along with that, I'm really, really proud to say that my team is gracious enough to provide free mental health support. All my therapists take up some, like how lawyers do. They do their pro bono cases. We also take up pro bono therapy, and this started off in 2020 in a as an instinctive intervention when the pandemic had just started. We started providing free mental health support. However, it's been 3 years and I've never been able to shut it, because there's always there's demand for people who may not necessarily be able to afford therapy, but they still want to have the best life and want to work on their mental health problems. So that's the other work that we also do. These are some of the organizations that we have interacted with over a period of time. We also, sorry, I forgot to mention that we also engage with corporates on employee assistance programs, and also creating awareness within their organizations. And these are some of the organizations that we have worked with in the past.